Premier League title race as they prepare to face Brighton and Hove Albion at the American Express Community Stadium in a contest that promises intensity, tactical sophistication, and psychological examination, especially given Brighton's reputation for brave build-up play and structured pressing patterns. And after grinding out a hard-fought 2-1 victory over Chelsea, Mikel Arteta's side arrive with renewed belief. 9 matches unbeaten across competitions and a 5-point cushion at the summit that they are determined to protect. Yet the manager understands that momentum means little without consistency, which is why calculated rotation within his preferred 4-2-3-1 structure is expected to balance freshness with cohesion in what could be one of the trickiest away fixtures remaining this season. In goal, David Raya is set to continue between the posts, and beyond his shot-stopping ability, his distribution will be central to Arsenal's approach, because Brighton typically commit numbers high in the press to disrupt central progression, meaning Raya's composure under pressure and ability to clip accurate diagonal passes into wide areas could stretch the home side's shape early, while his commanding presence on crosses will be tested by Brighton's tendency to flood the box with late runners, and his late save against Chelsea demonstrated not only reflex quality, but also concentration in decisive moments, attributes vital in tight away contests. Shielding him, the central defensive partnership of Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba is expected to remain intact, a duo that has matured into one of the most reliable in the league thanks to Gabriel's aggressive front foot dueling and Saliba's positional elegance when sweeping behind. And against Brighton's fluid attacking rotations, they must maintain vertical compactness, particularly when midfield runners attempt to exploit half spaces, because Brighton thrive on drawing defenders out before exploiting gaps, and communication between the center backs and the double pivot will be essential to prevent overloads developing between lines. At right back, Christian Mosquera could be handed a significant opportunity, offering athletic recovery pace and defensive solidity, though he must be measured in forward ventures given Brighton's counter-attacking threat, while on the left, Ricardo Calafiori is expected to start, bringing progressive ball carrying and technical calm that can help Arsenal bypass the first line of pressure. And with Jurrien Timber and Piero Hincapié available on the bench, Arteta retains flexibility should defensive adjustments become necessary as the tactical picture evolves. The midfield axis could feature Miles Lewis-Skelly alongside Martin Zubimendi, a pairing that blends youthful intensity with positional discipline. Lewis-Skelly tasked with aggressive ball recovery and transitional pressing, while Zubimendi orchestrates tempo and ensures structural balance when fullbacks advance. And this partnership must remain alert to Brighton's quick third-man combinations that often destabilize defensive blocks, meaning spatial awareness and anticipation will define their effectiveness. Ahead of them, the attacking trio of Gabriel Martinelli, Kai Havertz, and Bukayo Saka provides dynamism and unpredictability. Martinelli stretching the left flank with explosive pace to isolate defenders, Saka drifting infield to combine and create overloads on the right, and Havertz occupying intelligent pockets between Brighton's midfield and defense, seeking to link play and make delayed runs into the box, and their fluid interchanges could disrupt Brighton's defensive reference points if executed with precision and patience. Leading the line, Victor Gyökeres is predicted to spearhead the attack, and his physical presence, intelligent channel movements, and relentless pressing may be pivotal in unsettling Brighton's center-backs, particularly during transitions when Arsenal look to attack quickly after regaining possession, though the bench options of Gabriel Jesus, Leandro Trossard, Noni Madueke, and Eberechi Eze ensure Arteta can alter rhythm and creativity if the match demands late innovation or increased attacking thrust. Brighton themselves remain tactically adventurous, comfortable building from the back even under heavy pressure, and capable of manipulating space through patient circulation before accelerating vertically, meaning Arsenal's pressing triggers must be coordinated to avoid being bypassed too easily, and historically fixtures between these sides have swung on fine margins, with Brighton capable of exploiting complacency, which underscores the importance of Arsenal maintaining emotional control, especially if the match state shifts unexpectedly. Ultimately, this encounter is not merely about formation or personnel, but about resilience, adaptability, and composure under pressure. Because as the season enters its decisive stretch, Arsenal must demonstrate they can win in varied contexts, from chaotic derbies to structured away battles. And if Arteta's rotated lineup maintains defensive stability while harnessing attacking fluidity, The Gunners will believe they possess the tactical maturity and squad depth required to leave the South Coast with 3 crucial points, further reinforcing their title credentials and sustaining the belief that this campaign can culminate in major silverware. Beyond the predicted starting 11 and structural setup, this match also carries significant psychological importance for Arsenal because the final stretch of the Premier League season is often decided not just by tactical superiority but by emotional endurance, game management, and the ability to control momentum swings, particularly away from home against technically confident opponents like Brighton and Hove Albion, who thrive when they sense hesitation in their rivals. And one of the key areas Arteta will likely emphasize in preparation is transitional control, ensuring that when possession is lost, the immediate counter-press is aggressive enough to prevent Brighton from launching direct vertical attacks into space, especially down the channels where quick wide players can isolate fullbacks in 1-versus-1 situations. Another layer to consider is how Arsenal manage tempo across different phases of the match because Brighton typically attempt to draw teams into frantic exchanges before exploiting positional disorganization, meaning players such as Martin Zubimendi will be vital not only for defensive screening but also for calming circulation, dictating rhythm and ensuring that Arsenal can slow the game when necessary, recycling possession patiently before accelerating through sharp combinations between Bukayo Saka and Kai Havertz in advanced zones. And this balance between control and verticality has increasingly defined Arsenal's maturity under Arteta in high-pressure scenarios. Set pieces may also prove decisive, as Brighton are known for innovative routines both offensively and defensively, which places heightened responsibility on aerially dominant figures like Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba to assert physical authority inside both penalty areas, while delivery quality from wide areas must be precise to capitalize on any defensive lapses. Equally, discipline will be critical, because conceding unnecessary fouls in crossing positions could invite sustained pressure late in the game when energy levels begin to drop. There is also the broader strategic vision to examine, as Arsenal's recruitment and rotation policy this season has been designed not merely for immediate results but for sustaining performance across multiple competitions and introducing younger or rotational figures such as Miles Lewis-Skelly in high-stakes matches signals trust in depth while preserving legs for upcoming fixtures, reinforcing the idea that the squad is being built with resilience and longevity in mind rather than short-term fixes. Should the game remain level entering the final quarter, the impact of substitutes could swing momentum dramatically, with the intelligent movement of Gabriel Jesus capable of unsettling tiring defenders, or the creative spark of Leandro Trossard providing unpredictability between lines, and these options underline the competitive internal environment Arteta has cultivated, where tactical flexibility is supported by personnel capable of executing varied roles without compromising structural identity. Ultimately, this fixture will test not just Arsenal's starting formation, but their collective game intelligence, emotional regulation, and adaptability across 90 demanding minutes, because sustaining a title push requires mastering different match narratives, and if they demonstrate composure under Brighton's pressure while maintaining clinical efficiency in decisive moments, the journey back to North London could represent another defining step in what is shaping into a season built on belief, discipline, and incremental progress toward major honors. So in previous news, we dived into as Arsenal prepare for one of the most significant fixtures of their season with a high-stakes Premier League clash against Chelsea looming at the Emirates Stadium. The conversation surrounding Mikel Arteta's side has been dominated not by tactical diagrams or transfer speculation, but by mounting injury concerns that threaten to complicate what is already a defining stretch of the campaign, with Bukayo Saka's fitness emerging as the central storyline after the England international limped off during the closing stages of the emphatic 4-1 North London derby victory over Tottenham Hotspur when Xavi Simons landed awkwardly on his ankle. A moment that immediately silenced sections of the home crowd despite the celebratory atmosphere, because Saka's influence on Arsenal's attacking structure is so profound that even a minor knock generates anxiety among supporters who understand how heavily the team relies on his creativity, decision-making, and relentless work rate down the right flank. While initial reports suggested that the winger avoided serious ligament damage and was able to move relatively freely after the match, Arteta has, in typical fashion, offered minimal public clarity, refusing to confirm whether Saka has trained fully ahead of the Chelsea encounter and maintaining the strategic ambiguity that has become a hallmark of his pre-match press conferences, a tactic designed not only to protect the player's privacy, but also to deny opponents valuable preparation time against a definitive lineup. Saka's importance extends beyond his goals and assists, as his ability to stretch defensive lines, track back diligently to support his fullback, and maintain composure under intense pressing allows Arsenal to sustain territorial dominance in matches where space is scarce, and without him the Gunners would be forced to recalibrate their attacking balance, potentially redistributing creative responsibility across multiple players who, while talented, do not replicate his unique blend of explosiveness and intelligence in tight spaces. Arteta's dilemma is therefore multifaceted, as he must weigh the risk of aggravating an ankle issue that could worsen under Chelsea's physical challenges against the competitive imperative of fielding his strongest possible side in a fixture that could significantly influence the title race. Compounding the uncertainty are ongoing concerns surrounding Kai Havertz and Ben White, both of whom remain doubtful following recent fitness setbacks that have disrupted their rhythm during a crucial phase of the season. Havertz has been sidelined for 4 consecutive matches due to a hamstring strain that required cautious rehabilitation to prevent recurrence. And although Arteta admitted the German was close to featuring in the derby against Tottenham, the staff ultimately judged the timing premature, preferring to prioritize long-term stability over short-term gain, a decision that underscores the club's increasingly data-driven approach to injury management. Yet, with another full week of monitored training sessions completed, Havertz could be reintegrated into the matchday squad against Chelsea, potentially offering versatility in advanced midfield or as a false nine capable of linking play and exploiting transitional gaps, attributes that could prove invaluable against a Chelsea side known for quick vertical surges and counter-attacking bursts. Ben White's situation remains more opaque, described by Arteta only as a little niggle, language that often signals precaution rather than crisis, but his absence in recent fixtures has nonetheless been felt in Arsenal's build-up play, particularly in his overlapping combinations and diagonal ball progression that complement William Saliba's composure and Gabriel Magalhaes' aerial authority. And if White is deemed unfit, Arteta may need to adjust the defensive line's distribution patterns to maintain structural equilibrium. The confirmed absentee for the Chelsea clash is Mikel Merino, whose stress fracture in the foot represents a more serious long-term setback likely to rule him out until at least May, depriving Arsenal of a midfielder capable of offering balance between defensive screening and late runs into the penalty area, and his absence increases the workload on the remaining midfielders who must navigate both domestic and European commitments with limited rotation, while young forward Max Daumann remains a peripheral doubt after a minor issue curtailed his recent training involvement, though he could yet make the bench if medical assessments prove favorable. Collectively, these injury concerns test the depth and resilience that Arsenal have sought to cultivate under Arteta's stewardship, highlighting the delicate interplay between physical conditioning and competitive ambition in a league widely regarded as the most demanding in world football. Chelsea, for their part, approached the derby with their own objectives, eager to disrupt Arsenal's momentum and assert their presence in a season of fluctuating form. And while their campaign has been marked by inconsistency, their squad retains sufficient individual quality to exploit any defensive disorganization or diminished sharpness from opponents carrying minor knocks, making Arteta's selection choices all the more consequential. Historically, London derbies often defy form guides, fueled by intensity and emotional stakes that amplify every duel and decision. And Arsenal's recent experiences have reinforced the necessity of clinical execution in such fixtures, particularly when chasing silverware against rivals who sense opportunity in moments of vulnerability. Should Saka ultimately be declared unavailable, Arsenal may explore tactical reshaping, perhaps encouraging greater central interplay through Martin Odegaard and Declan Rice to compensate for reduced width, or granting expanded roles to alternative wingers capable of driving at Chelsea's fullbacks, yet none can perfectly replicate Saka's synergy with White on the right flank, a partnership that has repeatedly destabilized defensive blocks through coordinated timing and mutual awareness. Havertz's possible return could introduce unpredictability, as his aerial presence and positional fluidity add layers to Arsenal's attacking approach, while White's recovery would restore defensive continuity, crucial for containing Chelsea's transitions, particularly against pace-driven forwards seeking to isolate center-backs in open space. Beyond the tactical chess match lies the psychological dimension, as Arsenal's title aspirations hinge on sustaining composure amid adversity, and Arteta has consistently emphasized internal focus over external noise, urging his players to concentrate on controllable factors even when injury uncertainty clouds preparation. The sports science department's role becomes paramount during such periods, employing load monitoring, recovery metrics, and individualized training plans to optimize readiness without exposing players to undue risk. And the manager must integrate this data with intuitive judgment formed through close daily interaction with his squad. The broader narrative surrounding this Chelsea encounter is therefore not merely about availability, but about identity, resilience, and ambition as Arsenal strive to convert their promising trajectory into tangible achievement, recognizing that championships are often secured not only through brilliance but through disciplined navigation of obstacles. Supporters await Arteta's pre-match briefing with anticipation, hoping for reassurance regarding Saka's ankle and clarity on Havertz and White, yet aware that definitive answers may only arrive when the teams are announced shortly before kickoff, a suspense that heightens the drama of an already charged occasion. And as the Emirates Stadium prepares to host another chapter in London's storied rivalry, Arsenal's capacity to adapt, to trust their depth, and to embrace the inherent pressure of elite competition will once again be tested, shaping not only the outcome of this derby, but potentially the trajectory of their entire season. In addition to the immediate concerns over availability, the timing of this fixture magnifies every medical decision because Arsenal are entering a stretch of the season where physical freshness and squad rotation often determine whether a title challenge sustains momentum or begins to fade. And Arteta is acutely aware that rushing back players from muscular or impact-related injuries can create longer-term setbacks that prove far more damaging than a single missed match. The sports science department will be closely monitoring Saka's ankle response to sharp directional drills and explosive sprint work, while Havertz's hamstring load will be carefully measured through progressive intensity sessions designed to replicate match conditions without overexposure, and White's defensive movement patterns will likely be tested in small-sided games to ensure he can handle repeated accelerations and recovery runs against Chelsea's quick attackers. Beyond the physical dimension, there is also the emotional weight of another London derby, as Arsenal seek to channel the confidence gained from dismantling Tottenham while avoiding complacency against a Chelsea side eager to disrupt their rhythm. And leadership figures within the dressing room, such as Martin Odegaard and Declan Rice, will be expected to reinforce composure and focus regardless of who is ultimately named in the starting lineup. Depth players may view this as an opportunity to stake a stronger claim for regular minutes, which can inject healthy internal competition into the squad. And if Arsenal navigate this challenge successfully despite the injury cloud, it would further strengthen the belief that this group possesses not only technical quality, but also the resilience required to endure the unpredictable twists that define a Premier League title race.